StraightallDay.com.
Baldwin, DreUniversity.com. Let's talk again about speed. Again, we're going to talk about speed all the time, forever, every day, every other video. I'm going to talk about speed. Why? Because speed is the language of the universe, is the language of life, is speed. When you move too slow, and I'm especially talking specifically with human beings, this applies to other animals as well, but mostly I'm talking about human beings. When you move too slowly, what you do is you make your life shorter. I'll explain this really simply. Let's say you have a set of goals you want to achieve in the next 10 years, and instead of getting them done in 10 years, it takes you 20 years to get them done. Now, first of all, you're placing a bet that you actually have 20 years to take in order to get to those goals. That's number one, a bet that you might not win. And number two, if it does take you 20 years to get to those goals, then the next set of goals that you would have set after 10 years, you have to push them back an additional 10 years because you were still working on the previous set of goals. You get it? Now, let's flip that around and let's look at somebody who's moving a lot faster. They have a set of goals they want to achieve in the next 10 years, and because they're moving with speed and executing with speed, they are able to achieve those goals in 5 years. Because they achieve the goals in 5 years, first of all, they now have 5 additional years in which they can do other things in life that maybe they didn't even believe they would have the resources, i.e. time, to do, because they thought those goals were going to take them 10, but they got it done in 5. So now they just bought themselves 5 extra years of bonus life. You get what I'm saying? That's what happens when you're able to move with more speed. Get things done faster. And again, you can take that. I use 10 years and I use goals, but we can take any aspect of life and you can swap out anything that matters to you. It doesn't have to be 10 years. It can be any time period, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. If every 10-minute activity takes 5 minutes, you basically doubled your time. You give yourself twice as much time. You got 10-minute tasks and you get them all done in 5 minutes apiece. You just bought yourself twice as much time. Now you can do a whole bunch of other things that you otherwise would not have been able to do, or tackle some tasks that you thought you would have had to get to tomorrow because you wouldn't have time today, or do stuff that maybe you never would have got to, period, in life, simply because you got things done sooner. Now, here's the key to getting things done faster is that you have to understand there are different ways to increase your speed. Of course, you have the simple way, which is just move a little bit faster, dial numbers on the phone faster, move your mouse a little bit quicker, walk a little bit faster when you're going from the car to the store and back from the store to back to your car, and drive a little bit faster when you're riding. Yes, you can do that. That's what we call tactical speed. And that's the speed that most people focus on, but that's only one level of speed, and that's the most basic level of speed. Another level is to change your strategy, which is basically changing your approach and the tools with which you are going about doing what you're doing. So instead of walking 1 mile to the store, how about you take an Uber or drive to the store? You'll probably get there a lot faster in a car than you would by foot. And then the last level is what we call wholesale speed. Wholesale speed means instead of going to the store at all, whether walking or driving, how about you just order the groceries through the grocery store app and have them deliver them to your house, so you don't have to take any time whatsoever, but you still get your groceries at the house, which is the goal anyway. The goal is to have groceries in the fridge, right? The goal is not necessarily that you had to go to the grocery store. And again, I'm using these simple examples. You can apply this to any aspect of life. For all of us, the biggest thing we should always be looking at is, how do I increase the speed? How do I increase the velocity of me achieving this outcome? I know I want to achieve this outcome. I know this is the end game of what I want. And actually, let me back up. When you're looking at the things that you're doing, you need to ask yourself, what's the end game here? Because if you wake up in the morning and say, well, I need to go to the grocery store today, and why do you need to go to the grocery store? You should ask yourself the question, why do I need to do this thing? And when you answer the question, you will say something like, hey, I need some apples, and I need some tomatoes, and I need some peanut butter, and I need some bread. Okay. Now, why do you need to do it? See, if you ask yourself that question, then you may come up with a good answer, which is, oh, actually, I don't need to do it. I can actually order delivery and have them bring it to me. I don't actually have to do this myself. I can have somebody else do it on my behalf. That is a possibility here. You don't have to do it all on your own. So ask yourself the question, what is the end game? The end game is not necessarily the action itself. The end game is, what is the outcome of the action? So the outcome of the action might be something like, and there may not always be a workaround to this, for example. The end game may be, well, I want to have big muscles. I want to be in great physical shape. Okay, how do I do that? Well, I need to go to the gym and work out. All right, do I need to go to the gym and work out to have big muscles and be in good shape? Answer is yes, you do. Now, you can't pay somebody else to do your push-ups. You can't pay somebody else to deliver your groceries. You can't pay somebody else to do the push-ups and run on the treadmill. So that one you do actually have to do, but you should ask the question. And then you ask yourself, okay, well, how am I going to do it? What's my process? All right, do I have the best process? Is there somebody who might know a process better than mine? Is there somebody with a YouTube video that can explain to me how to lift weights better than what I'm doing right now? Is there a trainer in the gym who could help me better than what I'm doing myself, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing? And when you start asking yourself the right questions, you will come up with answers for how to increase your speed. And the best way to increase your speed, ladies and gentlemen, is to get insights and information from people who know things that you don't know, who've seen things that you haven't seen, and who have ways of looking at things that are different from your way of looking at things. Does not necessarily mean you're going to adopt every idea that they have, but I guarantee you can get at least 1 or 2 good ideas from anybody who knows things that you don't know, if you pay attention and if you listen. That's the good thing about the internet, is that there are a lot of people out here who know stuff that you don't know that are putting material out there. There are people out there who are saying nothing and they have nothing to offer, but there are also people out there who have value to offer if you would actually listen, glean it, and apply what they're telling you. You gotta do all 3. Listen to what they're saying, note the points that would help you, and then actually apply the stuff that they say that would help you. You gotta catch all 3. You can't just do one part of it. A lot of you do one part of it. I can't tell you how many times I talk to somebody and they'll say, well, I know I need to do ABC. I say, have you ever heard me talk about XYZ? And they say, yeah, I heard you talk about it. I said, did you do anything with the information that I gave you? And they say, no, I haven't. See, they know about it, they heard it, but they didn't do anything. So they missed this 3rd part. That's the action part. That's the energy part. Remember that energy is 85% of the job in life, folks. If you don't have the energy to execute on things, it doesn't really matter what you know about. It doesn't really matter what tools you have. Doesn't matter what resources you have access to. You got to actually do something with it. And speed, everybody, is not just about how fast you execute when you get around to executing. It's about how soon you execute when you know there's something that needs to be executed on. So if I know there's something that I need to get done, if I start doing it if I find out at 10 o'clock I need to start doing something, it's better for me to start doing something about it at 10:01 than it is to start doing something at 10:05. Because if I wait till 10:05, then I just lost 4 minutes of life that I can never get back. And you may say, well, 4 minutes, Dre, that's nothing. I'm only 27 years old. What's 4 minutes? Well, add up that 4 minutes, because it's a habit of yours. It's probably not something you only did one time. It's a habit of yours. 4 minutes every single day over the course of a year. Well, how many minutes does that add up to? It adds up to about 1,200 minutes. Now you multiply that by hours. Now we're talking days and weeks of life that you are shaving off your life. Now you see how it adds up? Remember that human beings are creatures of habit. We tend to do the same things over and over and over again, unconsciously, not even knowing that we're doing. Those are known as habits, and they're programmed by the subconscious mind. The way you change the subconscious mind is by emotionalization, immersion, and repetition. That's the reason why I talk about stuff like this over and over and over again. So if you heard me talk about speed before, good. And if this is your first time, welcome. And let me let you know up front, I will talk about this again. Why? Because that's the only way your subconscious mind is going to change. It's not going to change by hearing something one time. No human being is that activated to do something about something the first time they hear it. Most of the time, we got to hear it more than once. Most people are like that. All that being said, folks, you are ready to increase your speed, and you're ready to start using all the different levels of speed to make the changes in your life, the positive changes that you want to happen, that you've been talking about and thinking about, but you haven't actually executed on yet. Go to DreUniversity.com. DreUniversity.com. There's a link down below. Also, WorkOnYourGameUniversity.com. That's where you can learn about what we do in my program, how you can have me as your personal direct coach, and we can get to work on all your stuff immediately. So we start making these changes, not gradually, not slowly, but immediately, and you start seeing results quickly. That's the kind of game we play over here in DreUniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all